This is we call Khmer Buddhist Society. The organization has a building temple located at 2738 Marian Avenue. We organized since 1986. We had a building and the place for our community to celebrate our traditional festival. I believe we have 350 families, usually up to 2,000 Cambodian surrounding in the Bronx and also in the Brooklyn. We saw three states, tri-state area, New Jersey, New York and Connecticut. We opened the door for those families. We have 3 resident monks and he lives upstairs.
This room upstairs of this building is for the monks to perform ecclesiastical acts, which mean Buddhist practices of the monks, and also for the lay people to come and perform religious practices here. For example, like doing meditation, and also to discuss the Dhamma with the monks.
To visit them in their temple felt like a real act of respect, but also to hear from them and to see them there gave me personally more of a sense of what their lives are like and what's important to them, and I hope they felt the respect from us towards them.
We're trying to document 500,000 people of African descent who live in the Bronx who've been left out of the history books, not only in the histories of the Bronx, but histories of African American life in New York City. I love talking about Grandmaster Flash hooking up his turntables to the light pole. I love St. Augustine's Church because there's so much to talk about and there's so much history there. It's almost inevitably somebody from the neighborhood, when you're talking about the church, will come in and often invite you into the church. When this man invited us into the church and then played the piano, I mean, it was one of these really special moments. It was just like we all had shared something. And for that, for however long this trip lasted, we shared something which was very special. And it didn't matter what race or gender or what anybody looked like. We were part. I think we realized that we were in the presence of something that was really pretty powerful. It becomes like an event in the neighborhood. You have 50 people walking down the street. People join in. They start telling their stories. They add to it. People who have been there, grew up there, have their memories. And it was just a great experience. The Bronx, the images of Fort Apache, fires, crime, gangs, maybe hip-hop. The idea that this is a place where striving people, move to find a better life for themselves and their families, and that they found this, they created stable, cohesive neighborhoods, strong churches, schools, cultural institutions. This is something which so many people have in their memory, but they don't find it echoed anywhere in the public domain. They don't find it in the mass media. They don't find it in history books. They don't find it in people's lived experience. You kind of see people here less as in need of your help and more as partners.
Most LGBT services are provided in the Bronx within an AIDS service context or a health care context. We are the only gay community center in the entire Bronx, and we're a safe center for the Bronx community to meet and network and build community and get services from each other. We have social workers, we have psychologists, we have HIV preventive services and activities. We have a huge LGBT youth program. We have a Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays chapter, a Bronx PFLAG chapter. It's historic that we even, have a PFLAG chapter up here, really. We have a large transgender program and a fairly large lesbian program. And so we've really become a voice. We've really become a visible LGBT voice up here. And people call us for everything because we're the only LGBT anything in the entire Bronx. Everybody who finds out about us really is word of mouth. It's not like we have, signs on the buses or the subways.
I got one of their postcards and put it up right there in my office. That created a space in my office that didn't exist before.
The gay community up here has really contributed to the Bronx in such big and important and rich ways. The Bronx LGBT community has just found its voice. If that doesn't show us how homophobic the borough still is, they would not show Brokeback Mountain anywhere in the Bronx. That's one of the things that we're fighting.
My name is Linda Lugo-Hart. I have a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, and I grew up helping out my mother. She's a healer, and she has a botanica in uptown Manhattan. I worked for a research program at the New Botanical Garden. As the research program advanced, we started giving these tours to doctors that were treating patients. We went to 3 different places in which the first one was more the spiritual aspect of the mind, the way the mind works with the way people believe in certain things. From there we went to a more specific plant, and although the healer at this place didn't speak a word of English, there was still a connection. There was still this connection of knowledge that was shared at this moment. From there we went to different botanica that kind of had both mixed in, and I think it was the energy in the tour was very good, and I think we shared a very good experience.
At the last stop on the tour, when we went to go see Sandy, she went out of her way. She gave us flowers and tried to teach us everything she possibly could in our very limited time that she knew, that she thought would help us to help our patients.
I think it's very important to see the cultural aspect and the pharmacological aspect of certain drugs and plants that the patients might take before they come in to see you. I hope that it will bring you closer to your patients. It will allow you to know your patients more.
I feel more knowledgeable, and which is always good, and I just feel, more at ease with the whole thing, just completely much more at ease. So, and that's a good thing, because that's important to a lot of people I take care of. Figures it out.
The fact that learners here were entering the community, they were able to really engage their interests within the experience, and I think that's very important because they were interacting with the community as well as being part of the community.
You're showing some respect for immersion in and love for this culture, and it means something to people. That connecting to things that are part of their experience is a way of embracing them and them embracing you.
We found out about community resources that perhaps we wouldn't otherwise have found out about. And I think it also opened up the possibility for us to collaborate with different community organizations that perhaps wouldn't have happened if we hadn't shown up on their door.
This type of project is hard to evaluate because the impact of it may not be seen exactly at that moment. But then the next time a resident takes care of a patient that maybe was reflective of a cultural issue that we experienced, they'll have like an aha moment and say, oh yeah.
Get in the street, overcome your fears, eat the food, walk through the park, sit in the park, go to a church, if there's an outdoor concert or something, go there. Go there when you're not supposed to be there.